Alright. Okay. We should be fine now. Oh my god, I just had the greatest experience trying to set this shit up. So, for some reason, YouTube didn't let me set a thumbnail for the live stream. So, that's great. It genuinely just didn't let me set a thumbnail. And now we're rocking the default. But yeah. Anyways, let's pick up where we, stopped. Um, Last time we were messing around with verbs, pretty much quote unquote finished it. Um, I did, however, do some off-camera stuff, which mainly is I decided to add the subjunctive because I feel like I do want to have a subjunctive just because we can like it essentially expresses hypotheticals, which is very useful if you want to create a embedded future tense, or if you want to create a more detailed imperative or something else, right? So it's pretty nice option, and I decided to have it. So anyway, anyway, I still don't have everything figured out. However, looking at the phonology, I am planning on making some changes. First off, I'm changing these to uvulars for symmetry reasons because I'm adding k and so this is gonna be uvular now for symmetry reasons. And I'm also going to just design-wise just merge this into one row because I feel like I could have sibilant affricates t and t. So this would be the full inventory instead. Which just does mean that I have to make some modifications here in the word generator, which I'm gonna just do real quick. And see. Oh wait, I can't really use big C, hold on. And I technically also could add ch and so could have palatal plosives as well, which does mean that I have to figure out something else, so maybe this. And I have two symbols for ch as well. So should add some symbol, but I don't know what to use, honestly, so might as well start using numbers or some bullshit like that. Maybe like capital ch and small ch is gonna quickly turn into regular. Oops. There we go. So that should be about the updates. Another thing, for the syllable structure, I've been wondering if I do want to keep like regular CVC or do I want to limit myself? I want to because if I want to limit myself, then I want to have the coda limited to anything except for plosives and the sibilant affricates. So I guess I could say resonant, but it's a kind of controversial. But Still, just gonna add another category, R, which is the resonant, and that is ma, na, sa, ha, 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 wayara, ha. What is it? Ha and la. So those can be codas. Nice. Sure, it does limit us, but I like it a bit better just because like they are softer and they won't cause issues like gemination and stuff. One away from 260. Yeah, I know. I know. It's insane. It's insane, honestly. I mean, the channel has been going for nearly 4 years now, I think. Or maybe 3 or 4 years. And honestly, originally I intended it for uploading like longer videos to Discord and stuff. I guess then I just grew it out to be a full YouTube channel. So it did take a good while, and I was pretty inconsistent. There was like a whole year when I didn't even touch it, so that was like long pause. But yeah. So, anyways, uh, with that in mind, let's see. Consider future. I mean, there's a lot more probably. I'm just gonna say a lot. Uh, okay, for verbs now, for now, I'm just gonna leave this as is. I'm just gonna turn my head to nouns for a second, because we do want nouns to have case marking. And there's down. That's nice. I mean, that's nice. How, I don't know, like how come how come it's inactive? Like why not use it? Because I know you stream on Twitch, but like why not use YouTube? Anyways, in the meanwhile, the nominative could be left unmarked for the singular. The plural, something. Accusative. Actually, this is a good time to wonder whether I want a base animacy system by default. I could have animate and inanimate. So inanimate might have a nominative for to sit, as in like it sits there, you know. So that could be a difference. For the plural, technically you could have one of them be like a reduplication, which could cause some interesting stuff sometimes. So, anyways, yeah, not accusative. Proto-Indo-European doesn't really distinguish in the inanimate or neuter, like doesn't really distinguish between nominative and accusative. The neuter gender uses both for the nominative, like I mean the marking is the same, which for whatever reason it is. But it seems to have been copied over from the accusative instead of the nominative taking over. Kind of implying that inanimates are generally looked at as objects, but no. For accusative to hit maybe, or actually hold on. Accusative to hit, whoopsies. And for this accusative, I could say like towards, like use an at position towards, or at maybe. Towards. We could use that here instead for the genitive. So there will be like a distinction between the inanimate and animate, in the sense that the same case is marked differently, but different cases can be marked the same. Like towards something animate is more important, so therefore it's more like the primary object instead of the secondary object. As for this dative, to give maybe genitive, to have could work. Usually the verb to have doesn't, like it's very like variable whether it exists in a language or not. For this genitive, maybe like at. Ablative is movement away from, so yes. To go, however, this one is going to be to leave. So instead of going away, you leave it behind. For the plural, I don't know if I want to have separate words marking the plural, or if I want a word that marks the plural and it's like a agglutinative instead. I guess it's a question of derivation, but so I'm gonna leave the nominative plural as is for now. Accusative plural, I mean, I mean, by analogy, to hit would be to swing, as in to hit multiple inanimate objects. As for the accusative plural and the animate, what's towards, to maybe like to approach, like a group, I guess. It's like it's synonyms pretty much. To give could be to take, as in they take. Oh, you're towards. Technically, then that would take to approach. Like at could work because it's also a past, and I mean it also works kinda. I don't know. Did I use at? Yeah, I did. It's actually the genitive singular, and that's not good. The genitive plural here. Um. Hmm. Yeah, that would be at. Maybe to stand could work, which is very, very similar to the infinitive, though. I mean, it could work. Synonyms. To go and away from them could be to leave. I think that wouldn't be too risky. It's kind of context dependent, I guess, but I mean, there could be a difference between to leave and to leave something. So this would be to leave, however, this would be to leave something behind. Um, Actually, this would be to take, as in they all. Oh, but the dative already uses that. What to think about that? And the dative to give would be Towards could work, but that's already taken like 2 times already, so at. Actually, shouldn't be this be rather on? Then this could be at. Ablative could be from. Maybe we could be. It could be from. Uh, Proto-Indo-European merges the genitive and ablative in a lot of manners. Like it already has very similar markings for a bunch of times, so it is like good, but on doesn't seem like it. Like away from. Hmm. To abandon? I guess it could work. But it's kind of pretty much the same as to leave something behind, so that raises the question. Okay. Let me just simply to leave. Dative plural. Hmm. To help could be, because like, you know, you help some lower class something by how, like, you know, giving them something. That kind of implies the dative, right? For the nominative plurals, I generally have no clue. I might want one of them to be reduplicated, but I don't know which one. Hmm. Hmm. I guess something like group here. Or this one, like maybe like a handful, like, you know, like pebbles or stone. Hand. Like that. This could be this could work. I'm just gonna keep this for now. For nouns here. Not nouns, but nouns. Alright. Also, I'm gonna fire up gen for generating new roots. I was gonna like check if it's working properly. Yeah, okay. It's pretty much gonna be mostly monosyllables occurring. Hold on, nope, this one. And mostly monosyllables. Hmm. Oh, this one looks nice as a word, like, what is it? Cajomir, Cajomir, something like that. Cajomir. It's for stress. With this, for example, we don't have a long VC. We do have, I think this wouldn't be valid. This would be valid. And the stress would fall here. So cajon. If we imply that this is a verb, we'd have the past be cajomi, which wouldn't move the stress, I guess, but it's fine. How would this evolve? Let me see. That would be solved by the a. However, the o could be lowered, I guess, or just left alone. Tocao and cacao. Ikaomi. I'm just gonna do the lazy romanization here, so let's do umlaut, right? O becomes Actually, the ya should disappear. Ikaomi. And then we do word final vowel loss. Before that, however, whoopsies. Before that, we're doing the nasalization, so kaung, kaung, and kikaum. Kaung would be merged into, maybe merged into kung, and kikaum would be merged into kikaum. Would turn into a, and would turn to u, kikaum. Maybe even weaken the k there to make it like h, kikaum. And destroy stress as is, then this into e, and we'd have like, and before we destroy stress, this turns into a schwa, so we get ka and kahin for the two. We could also technically keep the m, not do nasalization, which would give us kum, kam, so it would be kam and kahin, written as kam and kahin. This would written form. It doesn't look too bad, actually. You know what? I really like this. I really like this. I'm gonna say I'm gonna keep this guy. Although I didn't do gradations, technically this should be gachon because of the plain ones becoming voiced and the ejectors becoming voiceless regular ones, like plain ones, but it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna say I should have like a, hold on, proto one main, then proto one vocab. Usually I divide the vocab into like columns where I have nouns, I have verbs, all that. I think for the pro language I could just have like one ginormous one with filters set up if I want to do that like that. Or I could still separate them and have them not mixed together into like a concoction. Okay. Roots. We're gonna have a column for roots. We're gonna have a column that indicates part of speech. We're gonna have a column that is actually gonna be 3 columns, probably. Actually, no, we can just extend one. I usually don't like, doing this thingamajig, but I guess this time we could. Or I could just merge like 4 of them together for meaning. And have one for usage notes. This is most likely going to be useful for prepositions and such that, like use a certain case. Let's see. Create a filter. Oh my goodness. Was it that easy? Oh, okay, I see. If I create a filter like on one of these, where is it? That's gonna make it all of them. Okay, then we're gonna have to unmerge those. Doesn't matter then. Either way, these are not like, oh yeah, they are corrupted. Hold on. They change those back. So here, create a filter. We're gonna color these black, white here, and all the way down we're gonna have gray background. We're gonna have, maybe should we not? Nah. let's have this and this as borders. Okay. And I'm just gonna like extend the meaning resize column actually. Instead of 100, this is gonna be 400. 400. And same for this one. Okay, I lost it. Where is it? Oh, wait, hold on. Here. Resize column 400. There. Nice. So, no, not timeline. Here's the root. Oh, okay, so it extends it shows, but it extends it. Anyway, so that's cajon. We're gonna, the part of speech, what should this be? I mean, a verb is nice, so I should, verb. Oh yeah, hold on. I should center these two. Verb, meaning. I don't want it to be to be suffix because that's a bit too complicated to be suffixed. Did I use to be? No. Then this could be to be. It's not gonna be exactly very irregular by the looks of it, but I mean it's not bad. So hit, swing, help, stand, leave, to be able to. I mean technically it could be used for the subjunctive because I don't really care about that one. To be able, so this could be to be able to X, which is a verb. Usage notes, nothing really. Nice. We have the first vocabulary item. I'm just gonna look through what else we have. U could be used for something. U could be a verb. Now this one could be to be. To be O, which is marked with the nominative. Also, I should mark the subject. So S is the nominative. To be O nominative. Because, you know, you are something and you don't really have an object there, right? So that's nice. I wonder, by the way, what happens if you... Ah, okay, so you cannot merge inside of filters. If I add like this, here, you can merge inside filters. And if I sort... Oh, interesting. Okay, so if you merge, you can't really sort. That's sad. Having push, let me see, what's the subjunctive we use that to do for the imperative? You do O. So the object, if you're doing something that could either be an accusative if it's a noun, or I'm gonna have like this between curly brackets, so it could be this, or it could be X as a verb. And I'm gonna say in case it uses X, it's used for emphasis. It's kind of like, I mean, like emphasizing the verb instead of, you know, whatever else it is, or being like uniform. Okay. Let's see. Let's go through some cycles here. What else do we need? To stand, which is for the infinitive. Something that can like, still stay, but not necessarily mess with the root. Oh, is too weak. On is not bad. Whoopsies, that went in the wrong column. On is the verb as nom to stand. But on is to stand. I'm just gonna do some testing. These are all verbs. We already did cajon. I'm curious what happens with the others if we do the reduplication. So here the consonant is so it would be etui. This would be etush, and this would be eton. Tetushi and tetonyi. For the stress, this is obviously monosyllabic, so this is where the stress falls. Here, all of them are uniform, so it falls here. Here you do have a closed syllable, so it falls there, and same for here. So let's do gradation. So we get two, and ton. Whoopsies. Oh, we're not really gonna see gradation here, so we can just copy this and remove the apostrophes here. We got tetui, tetsushi, and tetonyi. I don't know. Let's do some tests here. Let's just do umlaut straight away. Why not? So u, u, e. Let's also kill off here. So here it leaves no trace. Here it lengthens. Then U becomes E. And becomes U. Also, I just realized that yeah shouldn't be there. Because it disappears. Word found a vowel loss for unstressed vowels. Then we merge maybe these ones, so we get Techi, Teti, and Tetun. So it kind of disappears. We should also simplify, so this becomes T, so it becomes T word initially, immediately becomes S. Ch, T. It could become T word initially, but becomes like ya, yeah, maybe, or between consonants or vowels. Sorry, I'm saying a lot of nothing. So tu and tush end up the same very much in modern language. I'll just skip over something. So stress gone. Teyi becomes tiyi. Tiyi. This becomes the C. Actually, it should stay long because it's stressed. And tetin becomes tetin. Maybe even weaken that ta to sa, which could be through tha, but to ton and ti tasi tasin. It'll be tu ti, tu tesi, and ton tasin. I'd say it's not that bad. Not that bad. I mean, I was kind of just simulating stuff, so obviously it's not gonna be one-to-one accurate with what I'm gonna have later, but anyways, I want to construct so I have this table, right? That's fine, but I want to construct kind of like a tense aspect mood chart to combine these. So tense. So first off, we have the tense, which could be non-past, non-past, and past. And inside non-past and past, you can have imperfective and perfective. I'm gonna remove the tense because it's gonna be very annoying to have that. And then inside of each, you could have indicative, subjunctive, and imperative. So that should be 3 spaces everywhere. So you'd have... Actually, no, because that would be like this. Okay, hold on. Let's recombine. Because I could just have these here. So here we're indicative, subjunctive, imperative. I saw Biblaridion do this, like a chart to keep track of what is what. And I really like that idea. So I want to like kind of keep that in his honor. So here we have the tense, and here we have mood. Oops, mood slash aspect, as in like mood down, aspect to the right. Gonna do some styling here. Sure, let's have these two, like for symmetry. And here. Actually, I'm gonna have this and this, so it's kind of split. So we have this chart, and I'm essentially gonna have two. Actually, the perfective is kind of, or the pass is gonna be a bit interesting to have. Yeah. Also, this I should just quickly decide what's the order. So we have a root, after which goes tense, after which goes aspect, after which goes mood. And the infinitive can technically go at the very end, because it's like kind of irrelevant. And that's better. A person, where does person go? Probably right before the infinitive. So here's person, because that's like the most important. You don't want that to be lost somewhere in the complex. Or you could actually, because tense and aspect are the main parts. Tense and aspect are the main parts of what the verb does, but person and mood are more close together in the sense that person is more important, mood is kind of optional. So, like, indicative, imperative, subjunctive, right? So that should be it. So, yeah, that means mood is kind of weird. I'm not gonna have suffixes here and all. I'm just gonna have like, what does what say? Non-past imperfective indicative is the present continuous. Is that how you write continuous? Oh, hold on. We're not gonna fit into the cells. Okay. The perfective, the non-past perfective. So it happened, but not in the past. So it happened in the future. So that's gonna be future perfective, right? And the past imperfective is the past continuous. I'm just gonna start shortening stuff. And the past perfective is gonna be the past perfective, right? The subjunctive, it's a subjunctive non-past imperfective. That means that either now or in the future, it might happen. Actually, now that I'm realizing, you kind of don't need this chart in the proto-language. You need this like later on. So for now, I'm just gonna have the literal names. So like literally just present perfective and stuff like that. So present I'm still gonna start shortening. Hold on. So present imperfective, indicative, then present perfective indicative. Then here you have PST for past. And then you have this, but instead for indicative here you have subjunctive, so sub, that's me. And here you have indicative replaced by imperative commands. I'm just gonna have this table for the future, because if I'm doing a descendant, then it's nice to have this to keep track of what means what, especially if you're doing splits, because then in one split, then this grammatical feature could become this, but in the other it could become that, and all that messing around. See, for example, Latin, which has wholly complicated verbs. Like, genuinely, I looked at, like, curiosity drove me to Latin. I kind of like it now. I used to hate it, but I kind of like it now. And I looked at some Latin verbs and conjugations. Latin just kept everything from Proto-Indo-European. Like, genuinely, if you look, like, let me check. Latin, do you have a Latin reconstruction anywhere? Not necessarily. No, not really. Hold on. Reconstruction Latin. Do I not have Latin listed? Classical? No? What? Okay, maybe I do have like amore. Hold on. Just gonna check. That's from classical Latin amor. Oh, hold on. Up, there it is. Past of amorar. Verb amor. Here, I'm gonna find this Latin amor. Hold on. Amo. That's it, I think. Yeah. If you look at the conjugation of this Latin verb, you'll see there are so many forms. Look at this whole table. There, and I mean, if you look at them, some of them are very clearly like let me say this. They're like some, like, you look at them and some of them are clearly pretty much just the verb plus some other auxiliary verb that got suffixed onto it. So pretty much it's what is it called? Innovations. So there are a bunch of innovations here, but there are so many conjugations to a single verb that it's absolutely insane. And when you have like a huge verb system like this, and you're trying to, like, I don't know, keep track of what tense becomes what, then I think having this table is absolutely going to be useful. Even though right now we only have like 12. Yeah, that's 12. Anytime this could expand, right? This could expand anytime. Sure, it could collapse because something like having a perfective present doesn't necessarily have a sensical meaning, but still it's something. So anyways, so we have this beautiful chart now. That's gonna be good for later. So I think I should start coining some words that are not necessarily nouns or stuff. I mostly mean stuff like numbers and numerals. And I'm just gonna have the root listed. I'm not gonna have any other. Numerals are going to be probably duplicates in the sense that they're gonna be listed here, and they're gonna be also listed here in the main page. I mean, I think. I don't like to put them into a vocab necessarily, but a vocab is good if I want to. Hold on. There we go. It's not necessarily um so where was I going with this? So anyway, I don't like using like this merged vocab list. I'm still getting used to it a bit, but I think I'm starting to get the hang of it, and sometimes I really do like it. Not always, but sometimes. Anyways, so numerals. What's our base going to be? We definitely need 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are like basic numerals. The previous try I wanted to go for base 8, so I might as well just keep that. So these are going to be the defined numerals. The rest are probably just going to be innovations per branch, probably. Maybe even shared innovations. I don't know. There we go. So those are going to be the numerals, and I guess let's start fishing for good-looking syllable structures. Can't really set it to only generate 2 syllables, so that's a bit sad, but where do we get an interesting one? Such al, which could be used for something like 6. I'm gonna take all of these, so I'm gonna generate all of these, then I'm gonna put them into the vocab, so that's nice. Oh god. I want to have some more diverse ones. I use too many like ch phonemes. Kashil could be something. Why is it putting a bunch of L's? Oh my god, there's just a lot of L's. I'm gonna have to remove some of these. I guess it could be like 4. Kashis, maybe. Hmm. Pasta. Sorry. I'll change it to koste. Oh god. Oh my throat itches. Holy. Rehmi. Could be for 3, maybe. 2, I want to do something that could be used as a dual marker. So what kind of phonemes do we have? I haven't really used the velar, have I? I mean, I used it once. I haven't used a bilabial plosive, so pa or but that doesn't sound right for a dual marker, so it's getting skipped over in that category at least. Nus is not bad. Wah. Ha. Hmm. Oh, maybe. Could be nice. That's gonna be 2. Or then one could be Timchi. Timchi. Nah, that sounds neat. I don't know. Do I want to have ch there? How many ts do I? How many ts do I have? Oh, they have that one. I could also use k, but oh, actually, this is. I might actually switch out the first phoneme to be or h actually h. I haven't used h yet. Kimchi, kimchi. Sorry. Okay, 5. Give us something with a bilabial. Oopsies. Um. My God, there's nothing. Oisir. Opa. Sure. Okay, we only need 10 and 100 for now. Olem. Hmm. Sure. Although I don't know, I might. It's too soft for duplication, but it could work. So I'm gonna list that there rather. Uh, big ease. Sure. For 100. Give me something good. We need r. We haven't used a bunch of r. I mean, I have used one. Or sure, could be nice as well. Hmm. Rotush. Sure. There's not a lot of long vowels, but it's fine, probably. So those are the numbers. I'm gonna have to paste them in one by one. So here we have numeral 1. Then, whoops. This numeral 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's not the right word. No, there's no 8 and 9. I'm sorry. 100, and that's about the numerals. We're gonna have to. Okay. Okay. We're gonna phase them in. Nice. As for this one, this is probably gonna be a noun. Oh, I don't have a. Hold on. This is gonna be uh so class probably. It's gonna be same color code. So class should be, hold on. I have to switch around these. So class has to go first. Then goes meaning. Let's see. So class should have a column size of 100, but usage notes should be 400. There we go. So for verb classes, we don't really have classes there. These don't exist, kind of. So yeah, for nouns, I'm gonna say it's gonna be an animate noun. It's gonna be human, person, man, something like that. Richter, which after gradation should be Richter. That's gonna be turned into Eta. Whoops, he's one character. No, still one character. Eta. So something like modern day is maybe. or us or is in one branch, I guess. All right. So we did numerals as roots, sure. They don't really have classes either, so I mean they kind of do, because these are cardinals technically. By default, they're cardinals. Which could be a class. So we need to have a way to form ordinals and adverbials in the sense of numerals. So we need ordinal, and adverbial. Ordinal is, like position, and adverbial is essentially saying repetition of an action. So. Or any form of repetition, really. It turns it into an adverb, so that's the main part. Okay. Let's start collecting some more. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a beautiful root. Let's start collecting some more roots. Kachnas. That's not bad. Kachnas sounds like a noun. Like, be a noun, but for what? Kachnas. Like tree, woods, something like that. I mean, does it count as inanimate or animate? There's definitely a question. What would you consider a tree? Would you consider it animate or inanimate? Because you clearly see throughout the seasons that it changes forms. It grows and it does the stuff. Then, but you could also say it's inanimate because it doesn't move, and it doesn't seem to breathe, and doesn't have a beating heart. It doesn't have blood, so technically that should make it inanimate, right? I could say that it's animate with the usage note can be inanimate too. Anim, inanim. It could be either, because it kind of depends on the perspective, right? Kind of depends on what angle you look at it from. That's nice. Semio is not bad. Could have that as a verb, meaning, hold on. To abandon, maybe. That could be to abandon. Hold on. So S, subject is a nominative, to abandon O, which is accusative. And it doesn't have a class because it's a verb. Semio. Reduplicated would be semioji. The stress always falls here, so it doesn't really have any questions surrounding it. This would be, because of gradation that becomes the, so it becomes zemio and zemioji. Then we do umlaut and all disappearance. That would give us zemo, but the zeme, the zeme, the zeme, maybe. And then in there we could also do this simulation of A to A from E, so zemo and zazime. Because E disappears, we could also say that this disappears. We got zeme and zazime. It gives us deem and dazime. Then that stays. Z turns into R, darimi. Deem and darimi. Which essentially is going to be coming down to the difference of deem and darim. Pretty much. Because of, affixation. Yeah. We could also say that technically that E gets lost, so we actually end up with just deem and darim. There, shorten that up. Because it's maybe if it's then we just lose it. So umlaut doesn't have an effect on it, on a reduplication does. We get deem and darim. Theoretically, of course. That's nice. That's nice. Let's do bad to abandon. What's surt e? This is surt e because it's nice. It sounds decent. It's gonna be a verb as well because I said so. And something different, like Aslam, to walk. Maybe. To walk. That's it. Should I test? It's also not going to be affected by umlaut as I see. Would have se, surti. After gradation, this is surti and surti. That would umlaut get surti, surti. Right? Add good voice. Also, where does the stress fall here? So here, in the base word, it falls here. And also falls here, so it doesn't really change. Surti and surti. In the end, we end up with something. If it's after constant, maybe a k, sirki, sirk, and maybe like the. It will be turned into se zirki. D wouldn't be there probably, but I'm wondering if it's zir, then could the z stay? If there's a r, so sirk and sezirk instead of serirk. Or could have r there, so serirk, and then the second r disappears because of the influence of the first one. We get serik, so sirk and serik. It kind of looks like an ablaut type thing, like something similar to that of Semitic verb inflection, which could be nice. It could look absolutely beautiful. I made this what? To walk, right? Okay. All right. For ordinals and verbials, I still want to quickly figure out the affix that's primarily gonna make them. What did we used to do for? We used to do for the imperative, which could also be used for the adverbial, technically. And for the ordinal, that would technically be at. At would be the most efficient one, quote unquote. I'm gonna say the ordinal is formed by prefix at. Not prefix, sorry. Preposition. We have also stuff to do side. So SOV preposition noun. Actually, it should be not preposition, at position noun, you know? At position noun. So auxiliary and the verb follows that. Adjective noun. I should be moving these together by category. The verb, then adverb and verb, and also possessee, possessor. No? No, sorry. Possessor, possessee. So that should be our word order. So yes, we do have prepositions. Adjectives and numerals move together, so the ordinal is used by the preposition at. So that could be nice. Speaking of which, preposition. Actually, add position, and inside that, preposition. It's an add position that is specifically before the noun. Something that means at, around, and about, as in the sense of the idea of something. And so at O, at O would be ablative. Around O would also be ablative. About the idea of something, about the idea of O would, however, be genitive. So it could depend on which case you use. Let's get a preposition that we can use. Eha, that's pretty nice. Sounds very funny, but it could work. Name, yeah, name, Ron. Something along the lines of that. I haven't used the w much. His, like his way, or his we, his what? I don't know. His. We. That would be the preposition, which would turn, if we give it the very PIE treatment and turn it into Jesui, then it can get something like, if we do something similar to the rookie rule with s retracting to sh before certain consonants, now maybe like vowels, get something like ashwi, which sounds very nice. And ashwi, maybe like vu, could turn to u, ashu, which could turn into ashi without umlaut, of course. So we'd have ashi, maybe, or even simplify that to just ash. Ashwi, ash, like ashwa with a parentheses around the wa, which gives us ash. That could be nice. Um. Okay. What else do we need? Do we have a verb for to do already? Did I do that? Not yet. I should have it. Oops. Nominative to. Oh wait, no, I already do have it. I'm schizophrenic. I do have it. It's oosh. Okay. Okay. So how am I gonna do this? We're gonna sort this A to Z, and then inside that we're gonna sort A to Z. Does that? Oh no, it does not work. No. So we sort A to Z, and then we sort A to Z. Right? Yeah, that works. So or we just sort this A to Z. Yeah, why not? Why not? What could go wrong? Um, yeah, I'm gonna decide how I'm gonna sort these. I don't know yet, so it's gonna be depend. It's gonna depend, but yeah, sure. We have a bunch of stuff. We do have an adposition towards. So towards something. If you're going towards something, it could be an accusative that uses it. Which could be funny because it could cause, I think, yeah, in the animate it causes duplication of the word. It's in the singular, but I think that's fine. If we make it something that can change across borders, then I think we should be fine. However, from the sound I heard, I think it's time for me to go. So thank you all for watching. I have to go now. Bye bye.